And we are live back for another exciting episode of My Hero Academia. This time, season 7, episode 16 / 153. Let's talk about it. All right, guys, Brent here back with Geek Variants. Cover all things Marvel, DC, Lord of the Rings, anime, gaming, Star Wars, and more. This time, My Hero Academia, and I have to say, I am very excited for this week's episode. Because look, last week's episode we had a bit of an anticlimactic one as far as battles are concerned, and I know this series so far, like as far as I'm concerned, this season has hit so well. They have done an excellent balance of being able to show off how well they're able to flesh out their universe, as well as show how well their universe can really shine when you kind of put them into these big battle moments. Sure, these battles have been pretty much decisive. Like, none of these battles have lasted more than, say, 4 or 5 blows. Because the longest battle we've seen has been Shigaraki versus our boy Deku. That's it. And it really, truth be told, wasn't that much of a battle. They're still going at it. They've just kind of had some kind of feeling out blows, if you will. They've just kind of got the first couple jabs in this boxing match that will continue on for so long. And we saw that, even though we had our boy Dobby go up against his brother, he was still able to have a battle that went one punch, albeit the fact that, he was really flexing on everybody. Dobby was doing everything the way only he knew how to do. He was being as evil and primed and ready as he could possibly be. He was talking crap to his brother. He was talking crap on his dad. He was talking crap about the people he was with. He was just dishing out verbal abuse left, right, and center, only to get one gut punch and then just, went to sleep. When most of us thought were, this is the end. Dobby's done. It's kind of embarrassing. You just got punched one time in the sternum. That's it. You went down like a bad habit, and that's it. That's not really what we were expecting for someone who's been built up and hyped up for so many episodes and for so many things throughout this series to kind of be someone that is going to be the big one of the biggest members of the League of Villains. Him, Toga, and Shigaraki are the big three of that group. There's nobody else that's really even on the same level of power or of size or of scale. So the fact that ultimately that their plan was to have Spinner be the person who ultimately is the one who breaks out Kuragiri and makes that moment happen, that's wild because Spinner, for as great as he is, as large as he is, as loyal as he is, just how much his new quirks have really helped amplify who he is and make things really push in that absolutely new insane direction for himself. He's still, in my mind, he's not going to get the job done as well as Toga because she has a take no prisoners attitude. She's psychologically got a couple screws loose, so that's going to help amplify her ability to get things done. And at the end of the day, she's fighting for vengeance. She is fighting for twice. She is fighting for her lost friend. Before, she was just motivated because she was a bit on edge. A girl just looking for love, and well, she decided to fall in love with a teenager in Deku, which very vague, but at the same time, like, luckily she's not like an adult, so we're not just like staring at her intensely, just like, what are you doing? What the heck is this going on? Toga, as far as I can remember, is someone who is also underage, so it makes things significantly better. But at the same time, girl, you crazy. You crazy, crazy. Not in a fun way, but crazy. And at this moment in time, like, we are still kind of figuring out where things are going to fall in line. We've seen the growing of Shoji. He's been a character that honestly I never would have expected to be someone who's been a highlight of anything, let alone this season overall. Because let's just be blunt here. Shoji's quirk is having multiple arms. That's in this universe not anything I would say to write home about. Like, even in like the Mortal Kombat universe where Baraka is definitely a thing, or is that it's either Mortal Kombat or another one. I'm sorry if I got it wrong. I know Baraka is the one I'm thinking of, the weird jagged teeth. He's got four arms, almost always a villain serving Shao Kahn. That's the guy I'm thinking of. If I got the wrong world, please don't come at me. It is 2:30 in the morning my time. But he's got basically the same power set Baraka does. The only difference is that ultimately at the end of the day, well, Baraka has a huge purpose and is like one of the bigger bad guys. And Shoji's like probably fifth or seventh best hero that we were aware of at the time going into the season. Most people weren't really hyped for him. They're just like, oh, this he's just got an interesting design. He seems like a decent enough dude. Like, I ain't upset with this. Are you upset with this? I couldn't see anything wrong with it. But now, as this season has progressed, she's shown more heart, charisma, and character than so many other people. Like right now, Ochaku and Deku and Bakugo are about the only three people from Class 1A who have showed more heart than what Shoji has. And going into the season, if you told me, hey, Shoji, top five hero, going to be really, really beloved by the fans, I'd look at you like you were crazy. It just didn't make sense. And like I know I've read the manga and I expected him to pop off at some point. I didn't expect them to do him as much justice as they have. Because sometimes you can read something like, I really like this. I really resonate with this. I think this is an interesting look and interesting design. Ultimately, they did such a good job of animating this. Bones has been hitting left, right, and center for this anime for this season. The fact that it's not getting as much love as I believe it should, to me, is shocking, which, just kind of is what it is. Morning, Izuku. Pleasure for you to make some time out of your very, very busy schedule to be here. Because if I'm not mistaken, you have a big fight coming up here. You're going to be hanging out with Shigaraki once more. Any comments on how your battle is going to be going, sir? Because I know the fans are eagerly excited to see a lot of big fights this week. I know I'm personally looking forward to seeing what happens with Dobby and Endeavor because I have no love in my heart for Endeavor. So seeing him go up against anybody is going to be interesting. The episode itself looks like it just dropped, so you showed up just on time, my good friend. Let's see what we got. The title of this is called The Chain Thus Far. And it looks like we are going to be focusing, almost looks like primarily on what's going on. Honestly, I don't know. You know what? That's fair enough, my friend, because I was going to say, it's like, you probably went through quite a bit. I can't imagine fighting someone who, even when their power is being restricted by Monoma the way that it is still able to land such decisive. Bakugo in any regard is crazy. We start off with Kurogiri kind of giving a little bit of a speech to everything going on, as the villains have definitely seized all momentum for this battle and everything going on because she's made an army of twices. So basically, the Deadpool core has arrived to the My Hero Academia verse, which is just the worst case situation for so many people. And Toga making plans. Because Dobby is very, very familiar with her as far as like her grief is concerned, and he's like, if she's properly motivated the way that she is, that things are going to be go from bad to worse. And then Hawks, of course, is suffering greatly through this moment in time because look, just put things in perspective. He is the one who ended this man, and now there's like 100,000, 200,000, maybe 300,000 of them. There is an insane number of twices going on in this universe. But he's got some PTSD he's going to be going through because I can imagine, like, I personally ended this person. What are they doing hanging out? And now, of course, Ochaku making a nice moment in here with Froppy. They popped right on through that portal to go after Toga again. Because if they believe they are able to reach the inside of Toga, her heart, and at least have that conversation with her, kind of put things in perspective for her, They can demotivate her and therefore get that W for our heroes because Fox looks like he's seen the ghost of Christmas past, and things are going the absolute worst possible way. And no offense, I'm going to be skipping through the intro of this episode because this season's intro still just isn't hitting for me. I hope it's hitting for y'all significantly better than it is hitting for myself. Because the heroes are now trying to form some kind of wall. They're trying to just keep Dobby's flames at bay and trying to keep the army of Twice just as far back as they possibly can. But luckily, Ochaka's been able to figure out her float quirk, so she's able to stay high above all of the shenanigans that are going on the battlefield below. So they're trying to make things as best they can. And they seen Soki earphone jack has got her ear is still missing in the worst possible way. Gotta feel for the girl in that regard. So that she's having a terrible, terrible time. It's like, and considering she was fighting someone that they have dubbed the Demon Lord, yeah, that's pretty good. Most people who have met the Demon Lord aren't with us anymore. It's just unfortunately the way things are going because the entire country of Japan in this anime, is going through literal the worst possible situation you can. His Dobby's making little patches of fire in between the armies of Twice, and now Endeavor and Hawks are going to have to basically go one by one and handle what's going on here. And Endeavor, as we all remember, is fighting missing this part of his right arm. He's or his left arm. He's missing half of one of his arms and trying to make these moments work. He's like, "Hey, Toya, what'd you do with your brother? What happened to Shoto?" He was like, he was too strong. He wasn't able to make my dream come true. He's ruining my moment right now. It's like, even if I die, I'm going to ensure everyone on this earth suffers the way that I did. And we're going to have our personal grudge match, one way or the other. And the demon lord is just sitting there, just smiling, just kind of be like, even though you guys jumped me on my plans, I still have the upper hand. I'm still the one out here making moves. I'm making these things happen. He's definitely having his moment in the sunlight here. So, Demon Lord, all for one, right now coming up big W's. And then Hawks is just trying to keep him basically away from Dobby because he's like, he's aware of what's going on here. If he's able to heal Dobby to have him sustain longer, things are going to be absolutely terrible. Because that's not the ideal move at all for the heroes anyway. They're definitely not a fan of that. Because if Dobby's brought back to 100, well, just amplify that by another 100, probably the amount of lives that could be lost. Shoto did a fantastic job of holding on. Mm, mm. And they're just kind of be like, hey, I know our plan divide and conquer. Um, everything has backfired. It's like everything just sucks. This plan is not working. We need to panic. We need to call inaudible. But also, I would expect that coming from Hawks in any and all regards, just due to the fact that he's probably going through his PTSD moment loud and clear. And he has to now face, the Demon Lord 1v1. It's like Hawks is cool, Hawks is strong, Hawks is fast. But as far as being a good matchup for Dobby or for All for One, absolutely not. And Endeavor is missing his right arm. I finally can clarify. But now he's fighting his son. Mhm. The father and son showdown we have been waiting for. Because this is what, a decade plus coming. They've had beef for a significant moment in time. Hmm. And now the army of Twices have invaded Deku's things. Ooh, Azuka. Azuku, fantastic. Replied to the email. Happy to hear it. I didn't actually know who won. I did not handle any of the how that all went. So sounds like a fantastic time overall. I don't know genuinely who won. I just whoever won it enjoys their fabulous prizes on behalf of Geek Variants. Ooh, my goodness. Things have gotten extra bad from the semi just this is this is the worst case scenario. And again, thank you so much for being a subscribed member to Geek Variants. It means a lot to us to have a great and active community the way we do. Okay, so class 1A is basically going down. The building has been, how do I say this while working around YouTube standards? Been destructed in midair due to a surprise attack of Titans, and Monoma's quirk is now no longer holding back Shigaraki. So Izuku, you're about to be going through it, my friend. Things are about to go from bad to just heinous. This is a definite shout out to the villains, and they are going to be trying to pull up some serious wins here. Being destroyed. Monoma is tackled. Because now he's being able to reassess everything here, and he's able to just be like, boop, decay. I can go ahead and finish everybody and everything out because I'm no longer restricted. Let the games begin. And Shigaraki's like, hey, you remember how we used to talk and chat and things were kind of like okay ish between us? Not anymore. None of that matters. Like, I've changed. My heart's in an entirely different place. There's no stopping me. Mm. And then once again, the hacker is doing a fantastic job of bringing down Class 1A. Yes, he's just doing a great job of hacking and causing some self destruction within 1A from falling from the sky as they're directly over the ocean. Well, with Bakugo currently dead, we won't be able to save him. He will drown, and that will be the end. And Deku is slowly losing air and oxygen as he's been just straight up pushing himself going on here because the oxygen is now being depleted even though they're coming back down. It's just being too fast for the bodies to adjust. It's like how people pass out when airplanes go from their regular altitude all the way down. So it is a major problem. Iraqi versus one-sided event now is basically all we're seeing from the remains of Shigaraki is that All for One is firmly in the driver's seat. There is nobody and nothing able to stop him. He's basically taken full control over Shigaraki at this moment in time. And the hacker has been hacked. He's like, pardon? But he forgot that La Brava was out there. I forgot La Brava existed too. La Brava hacks back for Gentle. I forgot she's working off her kind of her sentence because she was in a little bit of a legal problem. So just be like putting her in the police station, like, hey, can you make this work for me, please? Thanks. Because now she's basically hacking him back to all high hell, and he's been reverse Trojan, so to speak, and he is just going through the worst time he possibly can. And he's being flooded by cute little pictures of kitties. And that's not a metaphor. That's just little pictures of cat heads. She's like, my bad, but there you go. And this is how the anime continues to run that fine line between being too adult But now the cats are doing the pump dance, and it's kind of a vibe. So good for them. Cat dance, fantastic. It's like, and their whole layer basically just got hacked. So he needs to realize it's time to run, get out of here, because if you get hacked back, they probably found your location, which means that they can send the police after you. And those who are still working, then you're kind of in a bad situation, my guy. You're in a bad situation. LeBron was like, I did everything I could, but we were seem to be a little bit late. Like, and I have to be able to build a whole new program all out of nowhere. And people were like, "Yeah, it's a villain's fault. Everything. This is her situation." I was like, "No, not really." It's like sometimes hackers just be fast like that because we've trusted so many people and they have done their part. Because Labrava could have just been like, "Yeah, I'm trying," quote unquote, and just did diddly. Been like, "Yep, I tried. Oops. Guess I'm still gonna be here in prison because that's where I want to be." It's like if you look at Labrava, the last thing you would expect is someone who's gonna be out here surviving prison happily or successfully. I'm not gonna lie. Like Labrava's not she's not really prison type. She's a girl who's like maybe 2 foot nothing with a ponytail. Well, a spike hair thing. They got the Harley Quinn look kind of going on, so things are not good. Mm-mm. Because everyone's like, "What the heck?" The army of Twice has basically surrounded the sphere, and they're slowly going over everything. Is the US really going to be the ones that are portrayed as a hero in this? Like, I know Japan has a semi-fond image of us, but anime-wise, it's not usually this excessive. Hmm, okay, and who is our shipping individual in the air here? Because he's going to be rather important moving forward, if that's who I think that is. Skeptic has been captured by the police. So that ha that whole plan worked at least on that front because now that's gonna kinda cripple their technology division, but still, as far as, like, on the field, not really that much. That's a fantastic move for everybody. They're getting some minor wins here. Oh, there he is. It's Gentle. See what he's gonna be able to do. He's definitely grown more haggard in prison. His beard is definitely more and we're gonna get a flashback, of course. Because he probably got accidentally broken out when Tartarus went down, if I would not be mistaken. 'Cause I know he got hard time for everything that he did. Because infiltrating the school and planning an attack on it is definitely not going to win you any points with any police force anywhere in the world. I'm sure Twice would just kind of be like, eh, I don't really want to do this whole villain thing anymore. I met Deku, so I got won over by the power of friendship speech. That is always a numero uno in Shonen Jump comics. Because Naruto made an entire career out of doing it because in my mind, there's absolutely no way he should have been able to handle pain. I will die on that hill. But hey, let's focus back on the anime at hand. Yeah, yeah. Yep. Yep. Gentle tried to stop the jailbreak. He tried to win them over with the power of friendship. Wow. The heart on this individual. He's no way he's going to be able to stop the riot, but I mean, he is only going to be able to speak from the heart. I mean, there's no way also he's gonna be able to overcome All for One at all. Because everyone else is like, "Yeah, we are villains. We intended to be. This is what we're supposed to do. Like, we chose this life. I know you chose it haphazardly, but the rest of us were like, we're about this action. This is entirely who we believed we are. And ultimately, it looks like, yeah, Gentle survived the day and he just kind of waited for the police to show up. And oh, wow, he did capture literally everybody. Gentle, what a move on his part. Mm. His only request is I just want to be able to see La Brava and just, you know, reconnect with her. Let her know like how sorry I am for everything that just basically went the worst way possible. And he's like, they've had their whole plan together. So hey, if they're happy, I guess they're happy. I still don't get how the dynamics of it all works, but I'm not really asking any specific questions either. Because they were on the exact same wavelength of that absence makes the heart grow fonder. And his quirk seems to be significantly stronger than anything we could have, you know, anticipated. Because him fighting Deku, you made it believe was fairly one-sided, but again, we have to remember Deku should, by all rights, be the world's number one hero. His power set is that strong that Endeavor could not go toe to toe in an actual battle if he wanted to with Deku. Deku would put him to sleep, read him a bedtime story, and then walk out of there. That's the new number one, and remind him just how great All Might truly was to be doing that for decades plus. And then Gentle saves Class 1A. My gosh. Because he's basically able to hold up the entire stadium slash class building that's going on here, which is holding 100,000 plus plus the weight of all the buildings, plus all other individuals that were there and whatever remains of Shigaraki existed. The science on it is staggering. But Gentle's like, I'm willing to give my life to go ahead and ensure that everyone survives. But again, Shigaraki has just finished healing, so happy moment's going to be gone here rather shortly, as we need to basically keep him from touching the ground, as that is the end for everybody. Oh, oh, double laser beam to the face of Shigaraki. Oh, he's missing his hand. It came off. Hello. Who did that? That was a heck of a moment right there. Who took that moment right there and had their time to shine? Because that's wild. Just went pew pew. Yeah, it was the other villain who refused to go down without a fight. The amazing sniper lady, whose name is dropping entirely from me right now. That was a heck of a shot. She just saved the entire world. Because Deku, had this beautiful moment with Gentle. He lost track of a fight, and things were going extra bad. But it looks like next week we're gonna have things go from bad to worse, as Shigaraki is still moving, and we still have to deal with the threat of all for one. So far, I gotta say, that as the episode has just now finished, it was a fantastic showing for Bones once more. Um, Overall, the plot was very simplistic on this one. It was basically just touching upon a lot of people going through their moment in the spotlight, so to speak. We had Deku, basically every villain that he encountered from last season during the prison breakout arc, where he was just kind of out roaming on his own and going through the darkest moments of his life and theirs. He kind of had heart to hearts with them, be like, look, you can change. Your actions don't necessarily define you from the past. What you do moving forward can. Is this truly how you want to be remembered? Turns out, Gentle, no, he wanted nothing to do with this. him and La Brava just wanted to live this happy life together. They wanted to work to build something together where their futures could be bright. Villainy was just the only way that they saw it, everything getting done. But ultimately, by talking to Deku, they're like, you know what? We could have done things a different way. We could have gone about things a more prosperous way for all parties involved. We didn't look at all the details and things. We don't want to do this anymore. And the sniper was straight up just someone who had been like, look, I just want to get the job done by any means. I don't really care too much about the semantics of things. Life has wronged me in many, many manners, and I've just managed to use my quirk to ensure that I was able to live the life that I felt most comfortable with and be the happiest with. And as things, continued to progress, um, we were able to see that she was able to make that award-winning shot where she was able to snipe Shigaraki's hand, blow it clean off, and be able to take another shot directly at his face just for the heck of it, to just kind of basically slow him down. Because we all know it's not going to be the end of the everything involving Shigaraki. Because if they had someone other than Deku do it, that would break most rules of anime, where the main character has to be the one that goes after and ends the main villain. Otherwise, I'd be like, what was all this build up for? You know what I'm saying? It would be subverting the expectations of the audience, and that is not necessarily a big in trend. But Deku's heart was really the main thing that needed to shine and has shined through on this episode. The way he's changed Ochaku made her go through all these leaps and bounds with Froppy to go ahead and be there for the battlefield. And then the rest of the class of 1A is just working their absolute tails off because they've been inspired by how hard Deku worked on his own, even when everyone in society was turning against him, and trying to have him basically turned in against the villains because they just wanted to live that better, easier life the most accessible way possible. The only part of this episode that didn't necessarily touch upon Deku's heart being the main core of this would be, of course, Dabi, who's impervious to anybody and anything's logic because he's very set in his ways. He's had revenge on his mind for a good long while now and is continuing to do so. And then, of course, All For One, who's like, look, my master plan's coming together. You guys may have technically jumped me, but my allies I've been working with for far longer and planning things out far better than you guys have. Even if we get jumped in this one moment, we're going to get you. We'll be seeing you. We'll make sure that things work ultimately for how All For One wants. And the fact that he was able to use Ares' power and basically rewind most of his injuries, time, and the damage that he's taken, things are going from bad to absolutely heinous for our heroes. But this was a great episode. I'm very happy with what we saw overall. Bones is continuing to hit this thing out of the park. Thrilled and happy to have been able to watch it alongside you amazing viewers once more. Be sure to hit that lovely red subscribe button if you're new to the channel and you really like this style of content. If not, likes, dislikes, comments, all that good stuff. Let us know you want us to improve on, all that good stuff. I've been Brent for Geek Variants. I'm going to go get down to the episode breakdown, and I'll see you there.